Welcome to Late Grade Classics, a podcast where we talk all things classic cars, from the brilliant minds who designed these cars, those that brought the hobby into where it is today, and those that are bringing the hobby into the future. My name is John Ruff, and I'm your host. This podcast is sponsored by Southeast Chevy Parts. If you've got a full-size Chevy from 1955 to 1970 and you need a part for that car, pretty sure we have it. Check us out at southeastchevyparts.com. And this podcast is powered by Push Button Creative Audio. We do audio branding for regional and national brands all across the country. It's pushbuttoncreativeaudio.com. Today, I'm here with the latter of the people that work in the hobby, someone who's bringing the hobby into the future, Jack Lazinsk from Past and Present Auto. Thanks so much for being here, Jack.
Hey, thanks for having me, John. It's great to be here.
Yeah, man. So Winter Garden to Altamont, not too far of a drive, huh?
Not bad at all.
So I've known you for 7 years. So the thing that I remember is I was selling my 59 and you came and saw it at my old house, and you were getting ready to start the business. If that's correct? Like
that sounds correct. Yes. June 15th will be our 7-year anniversary.
Okay.
So your timing's got to be pretty exact there.
Okay.
Yes.
So what did Jack do before Past and Present?
That's a great question. Well, actually for 18 years, I was in corporate home building.
Okay.
So big name, big box companies that are Fortune 500. And I would dress up in a tie and a suit every day and go to work early and leave late. And that was the grind, day in, day out.
Wow. And that was here in Florida?
That was right here in Central Florida, yes.
Did you grow up here?
I was born in Connecticut, moved here in 1989, and went away to school in Tampa, USF.
Okay.
Came back and started in the home building industry for $8 an hour right out of college.
What'd you study?
Marketing, actually.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, awesome. So were you always a car guy, or like what made you decide to get in the classic car?
Well, I was definitely always a car guy. So as a kid in Connecticut, I was playing with Matchbox cars, driving big wheels, had my little Bigfoot truck. There's even a story my mom loves to tell about me putting cream cheese in my dad's old Corvette special model cars. She loves that story, but she says, you were so quiet, but you were playing with cars. We left you alone. Didn't realize you were putting cream cheese into the cars. I don't know. I was a very young kid. I don't remember that story the way she does.
Oh, that's awesome.
But my grandfather owned a Chevrolet Oldsmobile dealership in Connecticut.
Oh, wow.
I'm named after him. I never had the pleasure of meeting him, but I still to this day hear stories about the old store and the old dealership.
Do you have any remnants of it?
I do, absolutely. Well, first, and someday you'd want to see this, I have some NOS parts under my desk, and they're Corvette parts, so I can't use them, but you would love them. I have some old license plates, you know, the ones that people chase today all the time, those high dollar real plates, not the ones we're buying for $7 or $10 off eBay.
Right.
I have a box of those. I keep that actually locked up. I don't want those to walk out the door. Yeah. I have the plates that go on the trunk that go through just like an original emblem would that say Jack's, because it was Jack's was the name of the dealership.
That's so cool.
And lots of stories and a picture on my wall of the original store. So next time you visit my location, I'll show it to you.
Yes. How cool for you to carry on the tradition.
It's really neat, yes.
Wow. So when did you become aware that your grandfather had this store?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer. I'm sure at a very young age, because my parents talked about it all the time, and the relatives talk about it even still today.
Yeah. I remember I was working at a radio station like 20 plus years ago, and this dude came up to me and he goes, Ruff, are you in any relation to the Ruff's Porsches in Germany? And I was like, I have no idea, but that could be where my car craziness comes from. I don't know if we're somehow related. I have no idea, but so maybe the car blood runs deep. I think
it definitely does.
So how did you start the business, and how did things go from the get-go?
No, well, that's a great question. So I'm working in my corporate job, and really it was a grind. It was a tough deal. I always say that's where all my hair went. And I came home one day. I remember this day really well. I was very frustrated, and I came home to my now wife Simona, and she says, you got to do something you love. If this is not making you happy, what would make you happy? So between the encouragement of my now wife Simona, my mother, and some close friends, decided I need to do something else. I got to figure out how to make cars into a living. And I didn't know if that would be possible, but we had to start dreaming. Around the same time, I had a friend that I was buying some cars from. His name was Jeff. He was restoring Chevelles, and I was getting into Chevelle. So I would buy a car after he restored it. And I realized, he was making some money when I bought the car. And then when I sold the car, I was making some money. I wasn't wrenching on it. He was taking 6 months or so to build it. And one day we got to talking, and we realized he was making money off me, and I was making money off him. Could we imagine if we worked together? So he was at a place for 30 years. He didn't like his job. I told you my story already. So we started kind of making these secret calls during the day or at night, planning what would a business look like that specialized around classic muscle cars. And the idea of Past and Present Motor Cars was born. I had used this name previously. In 2004, my father and I had a used car dealership. Wasn't specializing in muscle cars. It was more like just late model cars. But we had the name. It was actually right there by your place on OBT, ironically.
Oh, okay.
And, doing that and working full time in a corporate environment wasn't the right formula. So eventually we did close it and even got rid of the name. But when 7 years ago started, the name was available again and we brought it back, but with a whole new context, a fresh new logo, and Past and Present Motor Cars was born.
Wow. Okay. So what was, I don't know, what were the big wows when you're starting the business and like going through everything? Like,
no, that's a great question. I think for us, there was a lot to consider because, right away we had to buy cars at a whole different volume.
Sure.
So from going to maybe I'm buying a car here or there, we had to figure out how to buy a lot of cars, make sure they were quality cars, and how do you source them? Where do you get them? How do you make sure they are what they're described as? So there was a lot to learn. It was something we thought we knew a lot about cars, but we had a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And we had to really figure out how to get those cars in and make sure they were road safe, go through a process of inspecting them. And there was a lot of things we had to figure out before we could take a car and put it in the retail, market for sale.
Yeah. So, most people, they've got a car for sale. They put it on Marketplace. I know it used to be Craigslist 15 years ago, maybe eBay, or maybe one of the sites, maybe it's Hemmings or something like that. So how did that start for you guys? Like, did you just right off the bat start making corporate relationships with all these, sites, or how did you do it?
Well, as mentioned, marketing was my background. So a lot of the sales and marketing fell on my shoulders. And I quickly realized where were people buying cars. I went out and made friends with competitors. I went to every show, every event, every auction you could imagine, and was a sponge. And just tried to figure out where are people advertising, where are customers coming from. And I would try different websites, and I would see if I could negotiate a deal to put, 10 cars, 20 cars at that time onto a website and start to realize where were they selling. And places like eBay Motors from then through now remained a great source of meeting people that wanted to buy cars.
Yeah. I know at Southeast Chevy, we bring in a lot of clients through eBay. It's a huge search engine for parts.
Definitely.
And for cars.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so then do you guys also utilize like Hemmings and other
Absolutely.
sites?
Yeah,
okay.
We're on Hemmings, Auto Trader Classics, whole bunch of other websites. And something I mentioned to you off air was social media.
Yeah.
We have a huge following on social media. As of this morning, 150,000 followers, which we're very proud of that.
In 7 years?
In 7 years.
That's crazy.
And what we do with that is we have to provide content every day. But what's great is that makes the phone ring. People feel connected. When they walk into our showroom, the first thing we do is give them a free T-shirt because we say now they can say, been there, got the T-shirt.
Yeah.
And we take a picture together, tag their Instagram or their page on it, and we allow them to walk around 7 days a week, see our cars. The great thing when somebody comes in live, they can see the car, they can drive the car, they can put on a lift, they can do anything they want to be comfortable with it. That's something we're very proud of. You can't do that everywhere.
No, you can't. And, you guys got a huge facility out there. How many warehouses do you have?
That's a great question. So we now have 6 showrooms in a row there.
Wow.
And that's, again, 7 years in the making. But it wasn't always that easy. In the first location, 13 cars, you couldn't even walk in the building.
Is that in Winter Garden as well?
That was in Winter Garden. And then we had the pleasure of moving to our 32-car showroom, which felt huge at the time. Mm-hmm. And now 99-car showroom is not big enough. It's amazing. That's probably one of the greatest surprises that I had was the growth of our business and how quickly this business grew because of the love of classic cars.
Yeah. So, I know it's obvious that your reach and your marketing is what really sets you guys apart, but like, why would somebody come to you as opposed to just say, I could sell it myself?
No, that's a great question. So as you know, we buy cars, kind of like your story about your 59 Chevy, but we also consign cars. So if somebody wants to sell their car with us, then we make it the easiest process as possible. So it's as easy as a conversation and an email address. Once we get the email address, we send out the paperwork electronically. Somebody could not be local and still consign with us because we have a shipping business. So we have a tow truck that runs local all day, every day. But if somebody's out of state, out of town, we can ship the car to us. All they have to do is consign on the consignment agreement. Again, we have the conversation first, but consign with us. We bring the car into our showroom. First thing we do is run it through our shop. We do a safety check, make sure it's safe for the road, safe for our photographer to operate, lights working, everything that somebody's going to need, want, and expect a classic car to do. Sure. Then it goes over to our detail department, gets cleaned up top to bottom. Our photography department takes the car, does a professional photo shoot, no less than 100 photos. We then take it over and do an undercarriage shoot and a video of the vehicle as well. That way anybody who's looking to buy the car can really understand what they're buying. We then place it on 43 websites now, a lot more than the couple we started with.
Wow.
With 43 websites we advertise on. And then as mentioned, all forms of social media, which includes that 150,000 followers that we're very proud of.
Yeah. So obviously eBay is one of the top ones. Like, what are some other big name, some ones that bring in a lot of
No, definitely. You mentioned Hemmings. Hemmings attracts a great clientele. Auto Trader Classics. We have some partnerships with some other companies too. There is just about any website you can imagine is on our list if it sells classic cars.
Okay.
But eBay, as we said, Hemmings, Auto Trader Classics, those would be some of the most popular.
Okay. So as far as clients go, God, you've had to work with thousands. So like, what's a really rewarding story that you've got so far?
That's a great question. I had to think about this a little bit. And on our blog page, there's a story about a lady named Lori. And Lori came in from Arizona and wanted to pay tribute to her son, Dakota. He was a U.S. Marine and he was a firefighter. And he passed away at 20 years old. Really, really sad story. And we connected with Lori right away. And when she came in, she purchased a Camaro. It was a 69, I remember, RSSS in Daytona yellow. And there was some significance to that car. I don't remember every detail of that, why that car, but I know the yellow played a part in it as well. And so what we did is we made sure that we had this sticker made, and it was all about the tribute and what she was about to do. And she was driving that car home from our store. So we put the logo. I remember, putting the sticker on the back glass and that told the story. And we made sure she had plenty of fuel and everything was good. Checked the battery, checked the tires, everything that we could do to make sure she was good and safe for that long travel. And Lori made it home to Arizona. No problem. She tells me the story. She goes, I went home and went right to Walmart in the car. And she had a great ride. And, the moral was don't take any day for granted. And this lady was looking for a way to remember her son in more of a positive than the situation of his passing. And
how many years ago was that?
This was in 2021, but that's a story I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, really deep. But we see people in all the time. A lot of folks that are retiring and want to have their dream car. I know COVID actually was a time we were very busy and people wanted to get their dream cars. People weren't sure what the future looked like. And as you well know, there's a special place for classic cars in a lot of people's hearts. They love the cars they used to have.
It's something, I talk about it all the time, like having a classic and it's more than just a car. We all know that, especially if there's sentimental value to it. Because there's ones in my shop that I will just never, ever let go. You know what I mean? Just because I've got so many memories. My 55 is one of them. It's my first car, and so I've got my dad's Impala that, that's the first car I ever remember riding in.
That's the one I want. Yeah.
So, it's just, like the old slogan that Chevy had, Chevy runs deep. It's just, it is. It's very true. And so it's just so cool to be in the hobby and hear the stories, that I'm sure you get a lot.
Absolutely. Every car has a story, and just about every buyer has a story about why a car is significant to them.
I bought a 64 Bel Air, I think it was like 2010. They were out in Oviedo. And so the dad had done some work with his kids, and then they drove its mile back when our studio was in Sanford. And I drove the car back, and then they brought some parts over. And so it was the husband and the wife, and I think the kids were in the back seat. And they dropped the parts off, and they were leaving, and the wife turns around and she goes, "Take care of Big Blue." And then they left the parking lot, and she was just looking the whole time as they left. And it was like, part of me thought that she wanted the car gone. You know what I mean? But no, she was so, emotionally connected to that car as they left. And I can still see that. And that's like, over 15 years ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was a neat car. That was a fun car. So give me some funny client stories.
Well, I don't know if you know Roman Atwood. He's a famous YouTuber, if you've ever seen him. Sounds familiar. But I can remember specifically getting this Dodge Duster. It came in on consignment. Don't worry, that's not what we normally are buying. But it was a shortened car, had a ridiculous paint job and no roof on it. And around the showroom, people weren't a big fan of this car, needless to say. We used to joke, will it fit in the dumpster? That's how weird this car was. And we put it up for sale, and Roman Atwood said, that looks like a silly car. Maybe I could use it on my YouTube channel. So he buys the car, and it had a great motor, like a 340 in it. And his first video is him trying to blow up the car the whole time, just doing burnouts until he just couldn't blow up the motor. He kept trying to blow up the motor.
Wow.
So we get that done, and I'm glad that car's gone. I get this other ridiculous car in one day, this purple, strange car. I don't know what it is. It's literally in my phone as ugly car. And as soon as it comes in, somebody says to me, you should call Roman Atwood. He helped you last time you had a car you didn't know what to do with. So I call him up, and within 10 minutes, he goes, yep, I'll take it. We ship the car to him, and when the car comes in, he starts rolling, and he gives it to his wife as a birthday present. And he films a whole episode of this car being given to his wife.
Wow.
So the funny thing is, these cars that we think nobody would want or nobody has a following for, there are people like Roman that have reasons. He was doing it for a fun factor, but there are cars that people chase that we don't always think have a good reason or the why behind it. But whether it's sentimental, whether it's to make fun of or otherwise,
right,
people find a good reason to buy these old cars.
There's an ass for every seat, right?
Yes, there is.
We'd set up at the spring run in Daytona, and we had these like Corvair wire hubcaps. And I was like, well, no one's going to buy these, you know what I mean? And they didn't, but I think less than a month later, they were sold on eBay. You know what I mean? Like,
there's somebody.
Another funny story. So we sell treadle vac brake boosters, right? And we reproduce them, or we restore them. And my brother brought this particular one for a Pontiac for like 55, 56, 57 Pontiac only. And he's like, well, no one's going to buy this, and I just want it on display. And so Friday goes by. Everyone had questions about it, wanted to know about treadle vac restoration. And then on Saturday, this dude comes scooting by on a little scooter. He goes, no freaking way. And he backs up and he looks at it and he goes, I need this. He goes, I was told I would never find this.
Wow.
And he goes, here's my money. I'm going to go to the ATM. I'm going to get some more money and I'll be right back. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is the one we thought we would never sell. And this dude just he saw it as soon as he rode by. He was like, I need that.
That's awesome. That's a great story.
Yeah, and he's the guy for it. So funny shop stories.
Well, let's see. We have a golf cart. Started as our golf cart at home. We brought it to Mecum one time, put a past and present sticker on it. After Mecum, I brought it by the shop. Well, that golf cart never made its way home. The service department kind of took over that golf cart. So next thing you know, people are using the golf cart, and for obvious things, moving batteries or gas cans or whatever, things that they needed to do to service cars on site. That made sense. But one day we're out on a test drive. We're in a 1931 Ford, which we see all kinds of cars at our place.
Yeah.
Even Fords. And the 31 Ford is out on the test drive, and it breaks down a couple miles away from the showroom. Must have ran out of gas or whatever the case was. And Chris, one of our mechanics at the time, is like, I'm not going to get that thing unless I can take the golf cart. And I'm like, well, whatever you do, as long as we get the car back here.
Right.
He takes that golf cart. He's going down city streets. He's going down. It's not really set up for street legal.
Right.
And he's like, I don't care. It's a 31. This thing can pull it back. And he's going way out of the way on this golf cart and dragging it right back down the street. And I don't know why that stands out, but that is one of the funnier stories of just using the golf cart as if it was a tow truck.
Yeah.
And everybody comes back. The story ends well. It was something minor. Customer gets the car. He loves it. We actually keep in touch with him.
Yeah.
He lives in Solavita, not far from here.
Good thing it wasn't a 70s wagon. You're not gonna
might not have been able to pull it. Or some of our Impalas, right? Those are a little heavier.
Yeah.
But on the 31 Ford that day, had no problem pulling it back.
Wow, that's fantastic. Was it it's obviously a gas?
Yeah, it was just funny to see it being towed down the main roads.
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of, there's got to be some good breakdown stories, particularly for the cars that you're bringing in, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know if there's good breakdown stories.
Well, not at the time, but legendary breakdown stories.
Yeah, I don't know why when you were kind of telling me that question, I thought of one of my own. When I was back in college at USF, I thought of the time I used to drive a 63 Impala, two-door hardtop, white, red interior. And I would drive it everywhere. I'd drive it to school. I'd drive it to my job. And I was going to school one day, and the rear end axle just comes out, hits that quarter panel on the passenger side. I leave it on the side of the road. I run to class. I get it fixed, of course, new bearing, whatever. I driving it one day. I'm on 275, one of the major highways, going to my valet parking job, ironically.
Right.
And it happens again. I'm getting so sick of this car that I just can't get the rear end to be right.
Same side?
Same side. Again,
geez.
Here I am. And now I didn't know half of what I know today about cars, but it was just a real headache. And for some reason, that was the story when you said a breakdown story. That's where my mind went, was just always that rear end and that 63 Impala two-door hardtop, bench seat, column shift automatic.
Yeah.
And I just always remember that rear end fighting me. And it was a happy day at the time when I sold it.
Right.
But those are the kinds of cars now we all wish we kept.
So what happened? What was going on?
I guess just the bearing. I couldn't get it pressed in right or whatever it was. I mean, this is, again, another old story.
Right.
But I just remember no matter what we did, something wasn't right, obviously, in that rear end. But
so did you get a lot of attention like in college driving that car?
I had a 96 Impala and I had a 63 Impala. That was a cool lineup.
Yeah, that's a good lineup.
I figured the new muscle and the old Impala, it was just kind of cool.
Yeah. So one has AC and one didn't.
One didn't.
Right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. But it was fun. I always liked the Impalas. That's something you and I share.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I restored my 55. It took me 6 months. So I was a sophomore in high school, and my dad and I started on it in like February and got it done in August, so that I literally we got it done the Sunday before my junior year. And so my friend, he was my bass player at the time, and he goes, "Hey, can you pick me up for school or whatever?" And I was like, "Sure." So I picked him up. We got to school, and the car sat out in the parking lot all day. And so we leave, and of course you got to roll the windows down, and he goes to put his arm on the thing, and it's black, you know what I mean? And he goes, ah! And it like burned that soft skin right here, you know? Oh, that's so funny.
I can picture that.
Oh yeah. I think that's why I never gained weight in high school. I just sweated out in that car, you know, driving in Florida all the time. So I know you and I see the industry from a different, perspective than most people. So a lot of people talk about, the industry and it's this and that. So what are you seeing? I mean, obviously you got a lot of followers on social media. You're selling a lot of cars. Things must be pretty good, right?
Well, I get that question a lot. People ask me a lot about how's the market. That's what I hear a couple times a day usually. And I respond the same way, that it's definitely right now an up and down market. We have a lot of customers that want to hold on to their money. So that means they're not buying the classic car that is a want, not a need. And that's a shame. But I will tell you that we have folks that come in and it's their lifelong dream and they go after the dream. Yeah. We had a gentleman come in the other day. He wanted a 69 Chevelle we have. That's currently the Dale Earnhardt Jr. commercial. I don't know if you've seen this commercial.
Yes.
Well, you have Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Steve Letarte in a 1969 Chevelle SS going around the racetrack at Charlotte Motor Speedway. They didn't choose a NASCAR car for that. They wanted a 69 Chevelle. Where do you think they went and borrowed a 69 Chevelle from?
No way.
It came from us. Dale Earnhardt Jr. had a grand old time in that car, even burning out the clutch in the car, which we had to replace. But he prompted somebody to come in the other day that loves Dale Earnhardt Jr. and that wanted a Chevelle. And he walked in and he wrote the check for the car.
Wow.
So you never know. When somebody really wants something, some of them do it regardless of the state of the market or what people are telling them. And other people say, I'm going to hold on to my money. I'm going to put this off a little longer. But I would encourage people that these classic cars, I mean, have you ever had a car that's going down in value 5 years, 10 years? They go up in value.
Yeah.
And if somebody really wants a classic car, my advice to them would be go out and do it. Live your best life. Enjoy the car. Get out to the car shows. Just go have ice cream. Just go out, get ice cream in a classic car or get fuel. You'll make some friends real quick. You can't just, whatever time you schedule to go get ice cream or do something, go out to dinner, you better add some time because you're going to have to tell stories about life in a classic car.
Yeah, I took my 61 Corvette out today, stopped at Publix, and these landscape dudes come up to next to me. They're like, whoa, that car. And they come out and they want to know what year it was. What's it worth? I said, it's worth whatever someone wants to pay for it. But yeah, they had all kinds of questions. They loved it. And then, and so the thing about the 61 Corvette is, like, I've driven classic cars my whole life. That thing is a game changer for attention. Like, well, it's red and white.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's a big part of it. But man, what a difference. I had no idea. You know what I mean? Like, I get a lot of attention driving classics, but like the Corvette's just a whole new game.
Absolutely. But if a classic car brings you joy, then I wouldn't hesitate. I mean, the story you just told is what every classic car guy is experiencing when they're out enjoying their car.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And like, and when you're in a classic, it's such a raw experience. Like, as Joe Rogan said, it's constantly giving you feedback. You hear it in the sound, you smell it in the exhaust. Like, it's a constant, like, cerebral experience. And, I like driving modern cars. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you've got a truck.
Yes.
What year's your GMC?
That's a new one, 2024.
Okay, I've got a 22 Silverado, right? So like, I enjoy that, but you start to crave that that raw experience after
Absolutely.
a while. And so, yeah, it's like a drug, man. I love it. I love it. And I wish everyone would do it. I think if people could drive one, it would change everything for them. You know what I mean? I'm sure you get that a lot when people test drive them. They're like, oh yeah.
Yes, they love it. A lot of people come in, they ask, am I allowed to walk in here? Am I allowed to take pictures? And a lot of people take the pictures and send it to a family member or loved one, a father, a mother. You know, it connects them with somebody. It reminds them of somebody.
Yeah.
So they take a photo and send it to somebody that they're thinking of. There's a lot of significance to owning a classic car.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. It's more than, like we said, it's more than a car. All right, so future of the industry. What gaze into your crystal ball over there. What do you think?
No, I mean, I think we all know. I mean, it sounds like we both have fathers and parents that were into classic cars. So for me, I mean, I think that, you know, maybe our parents like different cars, street rods or the older cars even than we are into. We like the 50s and 60s. I think sometimes they were into older stuff. So I think that classic cars just evolve a little. Now maybe somebody likes the 70s. I see people collecting IROC Zs and other cars. Grand Nationals are really hot for us. So I believe that there will always be a place where people dream of having a classic car in their garage. The question is, how do you define a classic car? You know, right now we like to define it as a 70s muscle car. That's a big part of our business. But I think that everybody kind of relates to a different car. And I think people should really go out and whatever that looks like. A lot of people connect it to their youth. So depending on your age, your youth might attract a different car. But I think that whatever it is that they like, the value is going to go up. We've watched the values go up during the time we've known each other, the 7 years. We've watched values go up on the times we've been into cars. We've certainly seen, I know my parents were big into Corvettes, and they had a car like yours put away, and they wish they still had that car today, of course. So we got to eliminate people always saying that. You hear that story often. I wish I had this. I wish I had kept this car. Yeah. But now you don't want to keep saying that the rest of your life. Do it now.
Do it now.
Go out and get a classic car. I mean, it really does change everything. So for me, I think the market will continue to be one that fluctuates. That's with anything. But if there's something that you want, I'm going to say it again, go out and get it.
Yeah. And go to Past and Present and get it there.
I would love you to get it here. We don't have every car, but we certainly have a nice selection of 150 classic cars. So feel free to start on our website and go from there.
Yeah. So in your 7 years of being in the biz, what trends have you seen? What changes have you seen? I mean, obviously 80s cars are getting hot. You know, my brother, he had an 89 IROC Z in the mid 90s and he wants one now. Exactly. And he wants the red with the T-tops and the gray leather interior. So what are you seeing as far as trends and things like that?
Well, I've seen a lot of changes in the 7 years, but I'll tell you, seeing the younger demographic appreciating classic cars seems to be more and more. You'd be surprised how many young folks come in, men and women, that come in and just want to experience the cars. And I encourage them to keep that passion. I love seeing the younger demographic. I know that there's a lot of movies that have the cars. So we talked about the commercials, but there's tons of movies that feature cars. There's lots of shows featuring cars. There's a holiday show with the Night of Lights or something where they go to people's homes. And we have a 72 Chevelle LS5 convertible that was used in the show. I mean, people seem to be very attracted to using these. Dale Earnhardt Jr. went for a classic car in the commercial. He didn't go for a NASCAR or a brand new Camaro or something. He went for a classic car. I think that's very telling. And of course, for us, with the popularity of these, we want people to be able to come in and experience it. Every kid that comes in our showroom, we give them a little classic Matchbox car of an old car. We don't give them just any Matchbox car. We give them the right ones or Hot Wheels. We make sure they come in. We have a whole Hot Wheels display and they pick out whichever one resonates with them. And we tell them, now you got a new car here. Tell your parents to do the same. We have a nice little thing. But unfortunately, a little bit of a negative in the industry is people posting cars that they don't own. So something that we do as a car dealer is try to avoid any of those, scams. I hate to say it that way, but we told you how great our photography is. People go out, they take our photos and put it on the website. And so something that I really advocate for is people getting third-party inspections. And I think in today's culture, you can't be too safe. Send a third-party inspector, even from a reputable car dealership like ourselves. Have somebody go out and make sure the car exists. Because today, people chase cars all around the country. So you might want that 59 Chevy, but it's all the way out west. Send somebody to go see it. Yeah. And I just don't want to see anybody get their money taken by somebody that doesn't actually have the car.
Yeah, inspection's a beautiful thing because I came to you like 3 years ago when my business partner Josh was looking at a Mustang. And you sent us your inspector.
There you
went out and he found all kinds of stuff.
There you go.
And so, yeah, money well spent.
Absolutely. I think that's an important thing. And I hate to have to give that trend, but something we pride ourselves on is communicating about the quality of the car, the paint, the mechanicals, doing our inspections as we talked about. But if everybody's not as transparent, then you have to protect yourself. So we help people all the time, just like in your story there. We help people know how to buy classic cars. And we'll educate anybody that wants to know more about buying a car, even if it's not from our dealership.
Yeah. So was there a steep learning curve as you were going through, the ups and downs of business?
Absolutely there was. Yeah, I think we were, we thought we knew a lot about cars. When you think you know about an industry, you know about cars, but we said it earlier, but finding out how to buy cars at a higher volume without sacrificing quality, how to consign cars at a higher volume, again, making sure they're priced right, they're the right quality, the right condition. That took a lot of work. And I think we really had to find some good sources. We have some great contacts now of collectors. I got today, I haven't even seen it yet because I'm hanging out with you, a 55 Chevy convertible that you would love.
Oh, nice.
Came in from a friend of mine. He's got a 25 car garage. I get cars from him occasionally. He brings them to me or sells them to me before he lists them, which is nice. And those kinds of relationships have really helped us to grow our business year over year.
Yeah. So what shocked you most about the business?
Yeah, great question. I think that how fast we grew was pretty surprising.
That's good.
We started in that little tiny warehouse. We moved again, as I said earlier, to the 32-car warehouse. And I thought, wow, how will we fill this place? And to imagine a place with 150 cars, we've peaked at times nearly 200 cars in inventory. Jeez. That is just been amazing. We've had to grow and keep adding buildings to our setup and how to keep them clean, how to keep them fueled. What do we do about batteries? All things that seem simple on a smaller scale really get magnified when you have a steady 150 car inventory. So there's a lot that goes on to it. But I think having the service department, having a body shop on site, having all these things helps. If a customer wants to come in and they want to upgrade brakes or air conditioning or other things, being able to provide that service. One thing we've noticed is no matter what we have, people tend to want, maybe they love everything about the car, but they want to add air. We've had many customers we have a 4-speed, they want an automatic, or vice versa, where we've actually had to go out and change the transmission or change something about the car. So servicing the customer is a great thing, but I think some of the requests and some of the things we've been asked to do, we wouldn't have really anticipated, because when you're just selling one out of your garage, it is what it is. That's how, you take that one or you don't take that one. But when you have a business around classic cars, people want you to make them exactly what they want. And we joke that we don't have the assembly line out back, but we'll do our very best to make sure they get the car they want.
Has anyone asked for an airbag yet?
Nobody's asked for an airbag, but we do a lot of seat belts. Sometimes people want a 3-point harness versus just a lap belt.
Now, I'm sure that's easy to do in a sedan, right? Can you do that in a hardtop?
You can. It's just, for me, I like a no post hardtop. So when you're seeing that seat belt there, to me, it's not as attractive.
Correct.
But some people go with safety first,
Okay.
Over looks.
All right. Like I said, everybody's different. So what's it like being, a young guy in the industry?
I love being a young man in the industry. It's funny, when I used to go up to people, especially at car shows, and ask them, can I buy your car? Whether they had a for sale sign or not, depending on the scenario, people would kind of look at me like I didn't have the money to buy the car.
Sure. Yeah.
And that was tricky. I don't get that as often today, but I do remember that standing out. And they would just kind of qualify me just based on age alone, that they didn't think I could buy their car. But now I've really come to enjoy it. Getting out of a corporate industry at a young age and going into, your own business is a lot of fun. There's a lot of work, a lot of hours, a lot of hard work that comes with it, but it's been a fun and exciting journey. I get to play with cars every day is what I always say. And going back to the story of being a child, playing with the Matchbox cars, really being into cars as a small kid, I love the idea of how we park them and lining them up. I'm sure you noticed when you came over, they're all backed in, they're all by make and model and by color. And it's just pretty cool because that's how I did it as a kid, lining up all the Matchbox cars. I don't know if you've ever seen that quote. We grew up with all these Matchbox cars. Who could expect us to only have one car when we grow up? Isn't that how you feel?
Absolutely.
So I always feel, but I get to live the passion every day of classic cars and going out to car shows and buying cars. I believe you and I go to some of the same shows, and I can tell you many of these local shows I've left with a new car.
Yeah?
A new classic car. But I love buying cars. I love going out and getting to see these cars. I love the chase. There's a lot of fun in the chase. I got a local 63 Impala convertible recently. I don't know if I mentioned it to you when I saw you.
Yeah.
And that car was 25 years I was chasing it. Well, I already had that same year, make, and model at home, but this other one has a little more sentimental value to me. So I'm actually going to sell the one that I recently restored.
Oh, wow.
And keep the one that has more sentimental that's not as restored because that car had more significance. So,
I mean, it goes a long way.
I love the chase of these cars.
What's the sentimental value?
The fact that my father and I were looking at that car 25 years ago. My son and I were looking at that car 15 years ago. He became a household name in our home. We always reference that car. We gave the car and the gentleman a nickname. And it was really neat when finally on his 82nd birthday, he said, I think it's time you get.
Wow.
That was really a special moment. And the other car has no significance to me. I bought it and I like it, but it had no story and it's not as original.
Yeah. Yeah, the stories go a long way, man. So have you sold the 63 yet?
Not yet. I turned down a really good offer, but it's not for sale. I call it a pocket listing. I'm not ready to bring it to the store yet to sell it, but I believe at some point I will be.
Okay.
But I'm not all the way there. I still like it, but I'm not in love with that one.
Right. So now, because everyone regrets selling a car at some point, you as a business owner have sold lots of cars. Is there a car or a few that you're like, dang it?
No, there's one in particular. It's Dream Car 1. We have Dream Car 2 now, but I'll tell you about Dream Car 1. So my favorite car is a 59 Impala. I think we share that in common, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And you have a picture of one similar behind you.
Yeah.
Well, I had a black 59 Impala convertible. I don't know if you remember the car. It was on the cover of Chevy Classics. It didn't have the red interior. It had that nice like tricolor black and gray and blue interior. Yeah. Had a Continental kit. It was the dream car. Worked really hard to get that, chased it for a while, and I had it for a number of years. And just from sitting, it started to need little things, and I had the opportunity to sell it for, at the time, what seemed like a lot of money. And we were looking to get into an investment property, and so I took that opportunity to sell that and invest the money, which worked out favorably in that regard. However, I missed that car every day. Well, a year or so later, we found a 61 Impala convertible. First time I saw it was at Turkey Rod Run. I chased it as fast as I could run. Wasn't for sale. I saw that car again at the Tampa Hot Rod Nationals. It wasn't for sale. And I just kept in touch with the guy. And I'll never forget, the guy calls, we're at a Sunday brunch one day, and he says, I'm ready to sell my 61. So that's now Dream Car 2. And the significance now of the 61 versus the 59 we used to have is when I married my now wife, Simona, we used the 61 Impala convertible in our wedding.
Uh-huh.
And so that picture still from that day, many, many years ago, stays there. And that's our 61 Impala convertible.
What year did you get married?
We got married in 2022.
2022. Very cool. Yeah, and I've seen that car.
Yes,
around.
I love that car. It still sits right at home in the garage.
What's in it?
That is a 350 with a turbo 350 transmission, cold air conditioning, which is a requirement for us to go out and enjoy it as a family.
Yeah.
And it's just great color. The blue has a blue top and a blue stripe and just a blue interior. So it's two shades of blue, no other colors. I'm a little bit of a anti-red in my cars.
Oh, yeah?
So I like anything that has different colors like that.
That's cool.
And I try to go without a black interior is one of my rules on my cars.
Yeah.
I like non-traditional color interiors.
That's awesome because you've seen it 1,000 times, right? You want something different.
I always see black interior. Not that there's anything wrong with a black interior, but I chase the white interiors, the brown interiors, the blues, the different color interiors I chase.
Yeah. What color did the 59 have?
It had that tricolor. It was like a black, blue, and gray color. Great
What
color.
motor was in that 59?
That one's a 283. That's a good motor, too.
Where is it?
That car is now in New Mexico, and he will not sell it. And if he would sell it, it would be $50,000 more than he bought it.
Man. Well, at least it's in a dry climate.
It is, and I haven't lost hope. I have the pictures, but I don't have the car.
Yeah. We were at Epcot like a little over a month ago, and we're waiting in line for Guardians of the Galaxy. We're going back and forth, and I see this guy, and he's got a 59 Impala convertible on his shirt, and I was like, nice 59. He's like, thanks. I was like, is that yours? He's like, yeah. And so we just started talking. The line's backing up, you know what I mean? And we're just started yapping. And I was like, well, we'll come around and we'll talk. And so we come back around. I'm like, so what's in it? You know, and that just blah, blah, blah. And every time we come around, we just get to know a little bit more about the car, a little bit more about the car. I doubt it's the one, but you know, How many 59 convertibles are left? I mean,
They're out there. I've been chasing one for a little while. I have to have lunch with the guy. I have to keep in touch with him twice a year. He's making me work for this car. It's a frame-off restored 59 Impala convertible. So I hope to get that one someday. And I did recently acquire a 59 Impala four-door hardtop. You've probably seen the car over. We have a mutual friend. You might have seen it there.
oh yeah, yeah.
And that's a special car. Power seats, power windows. Gentleman had it since the early 90s, and the place you're affiliated with had done a lot of work on that car back in the early 90s. And I have every receipt and an appraisal from Danny Howell.
Wow.
I have paperwork very thick on that car, and I'm waiting for a little more space so I can bring that car home.
Oh, so that's
It's still
going in the collection?
Yes, it is. That's a keeper car.
Congrats. That's awesome. So what would you like people to know about the consignment industry?
Well, that's a great question. I'll tell you, the consignment industry for us is we want to make it easy for people to sell their car. And the idea of having customers come to your home or call you at all hours or texting or playing games seems like not the right way to sell a car anymore.
It's a pain.
So we make it easy. And as mentioned, we will come and pick up the car from anywhere in the country. If it's local, we just send our tow truck. If it's out of the state, we'll send maybe a whole car carrier. And we'll bring the car back, and we will treat the car well. We will run it through our service department, make sure everything's safe, full detail, and then a very professional photo shoot. 100 photos, undercarriage included, video, and we'll get that car on 43 websites. And as I'm so proud to say again, 150,000 followers will get to see that car. We always post our new arrivals, and as soon as we do, that phone starts to ring. And for anybody that really wants to market their car effectively and get the most for their car, I would encourage them to use a company like ours, Past and Present Motor Cars, to sell their car the easy way.
Nice. So I think 59 is your favorite car?
59 Impala is absolutely the favorite car. But for now, the 61 in my collection would be.
Okay. So when, like, has it been forever a 59 or
Yes.
is it just recently?
No,
or?
it's been a 59 forever. I've always loved the cat eyes, the big wings. There's just something undeniable about a 59 Impala rear end. And
Because there was a time where it was like love, hate, and there was a lot of hate. There was a lot of hate. And when I was growing up in the industry in the 90s, too, it was the 62. Everybody loved the freaking 62s. And, they're still popular, but like it seems like the 58, 59, somewhat 60, and 61 are so popular.
That's true.
But we're also starting to see now, particularly for the parts, and people are restoring 65s and 6s now. I don't know, have you seen a lot of those come in the shop?
We absolutely are. When we get a 65 SS in, people love them. And 66s sell. When I grew up, people wouldn't look at the taillights of a 66.
Correct. Yes.
64, a lot of people liked as well, which most days you'll catch me driving my 64 Super Sport convertible around.
Nice.
But I'll tell you, ironically, at the store, we had a 62 convertible. You may have seen it when you were there. And we had a little bit of a hard time moving that one. I traded it for a 64 convertible, and the phone was ringing off the hook. And so for some reason with us at the store, 64s is the most popular year of the Impala because I think it's most familiar. And when you think about music or rap music or things like that.
Thanks, Dre and Snoop.
Yes, people associate that most often with a 64 Impala.
Yeah. I remember watching MTV because I grew up around the cars and I'm seeing them on TV and I'm like, what is this? You know what I mean? Like, where did this come from? And so, and it was coming from California, and that's where the lowrider scene was coming from.
That's right.
And I think that to this day, it still drives a lot of the trends, particularly like the 59s are so hot.
Yes, they are.
And a lot of that's coming from the culture in California. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And we buy a lot of cars from California, and we sell a lot of cars to California. Many of our Impalas go out west.
Sounds like you got to get a shop out there, man.
Yes, that would be great. Yep. Maybe a franchise someday.
Yeah. So you mentioned the 63, but what was your first car?
Well, that's a great question. I had that 63. The very first car was a Pontiac Grand Am. Nothing that exciting.
What year?
Let's see, a 1996 Pontiac Grand Am, which
Okay.
later I had a 82 Cadillac Coupe de Ville.
Dang.
And then I got into, eventually, I had another Pontiac, and then I got into the Impalas, and then came the 63. Before that 63, I had a 61 Impala bubble top.
Oh, nice.
I got it with a blown motor, and that's when I knew I did not want to be a mechanic. I was just always having a hard time with the motor work, and I ended up replacing the motor, and it was a big job.
Yeah.
I would do that after school. I would do the motor job, and it was just not something that I was very good at.
Was that something you and your dad did, or you just
No,
did it
was
yourself?
me and somebody outside of my school there in Tampa.
Man, that's work.
Yes, it was not fun, and I'm a kid at the time. I mean, if you think about it, and I'm learning how to change a motor in my car just so I can get it on the road. And when I got on the road, it was never a car I really had a lot of luck with. And the 63 Impala seemed like the answer, and then that one started having different issues. And I was just wanting a car that I could literally just get in and go.
Yeah.
I ended up getting a 59 Impala 348 car. It had a rusted out quarter panel. It was black with a blue interior. The seat was ripped. The quarter panel was rusted. And you know what was great? I could make it from Tampa to Orlando without any mechanical issues. So that was the first 59 I ever had.
Really?
That's right. I remember getting one right after that one, too. A green one.
A green one?
A very ugly color green, not a factory color.
Oh, somebody painted it.
Somebody painted it like a very ugly green, kind of like your Rubik's Cube green right there.
Oh, okay. What motor was in that one?
I think that just had like a 350 crate motor, something like that.
Yeah. You've had a lot of cars.
I've had a lot of cars before being in the car business, yes. A lot of cars.
So do you have a 58?
I do not have a 58 at the moment, but I'm working to collect all the years.
You want a convertible?
Absolutely, yes.
Now, are you particular on the motor?
I like to drive them, so I prefer a 283 if you want to know. I think a 283 is a little bit more bulletproof because I had a 59 348 tri-power convertible. I put air on the car, and as soon as I did, I blew the motor. Then I put an LS in the car, and I never was happy with that.
Really?
So I've learned I like the original motors, 283 preferably, if you want to know.
That's what's in my vet. I had a 63 truck, had a 283. The 59
I remember that
280.
truck, I believe.
Yeah.
I think I saw that truck at your home one time.
Yeah. And then the 59 is a 283. There you go. So
we're in agreement then.
Good to go. My 55, when I restored it, 283.
Yeah. It's a very reliable engine.
Do you have a favorite car movie?
I do. I was thinking what if this would qualify, but Days of Thunder, do you count that as a car movie?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I can always picture Cole Trickle going around the track as a kid. And one of my favorite lines is when Cole's trying to come to the pits and he says, I got to come into the pits. And the crew chief tells him, we're eating ice cream, Cole. And I love ice cream. And so I just think it's so funny. They were more concerned with eating ice cream than they were about getting the car into the pit.
Yeah. That was my dad didn't go to the movies very much, but he took me to go see that in the movie theater.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. Well, Jack, I really appreciate your time today. I really respect what you've done. I've built, push button from the ground up. I've taken over Southeast Chevy. I know what it's like to work in your hobby and how difficult it can be, but how rewarding it can be. And you're killing it, man. And you killed it. And that's awesome. So tell people how they can get a hold of you.
I appreciate that. Well, thank you so much for having me. Best place to find us is on our website, pastandpresentmotorcars.com. We're located just west of Orlando, Florida. Easy commute from any airport or from Orlando International Airport or from anywhere here in Central Florida. And so please visit our website. And if you are local, come into our showroom. We're open 7 days a week.
Follow them on Instagram.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.